there everyone, my name's Miranda and today I am here to discuss episode 6 of Shadowhunters. And as always, if you don't want to be spoiled for what happens in this episode, thank you so much for stopping by, but we are going to have to part ways for now until you see the episode. And if you want to watch any of my previous 5 episode reviews, you can check those all out down below. I will leave a link in the description box for you, so go do that now and I'll see you in the future. Bye for now, non-spoilers! Alright, so this episode was all about saving Luke, and Luke, in his alpha-bitten, almost dying, half-bleeding delusions, was told by Jocelyn that he has to tell Clary everything because Clary is the key to unlocking it all, because I don't know why Jocelyn couldn't just like think of like a little code word or something to be like, hey Clary, remember that special cup we have? The one that I keep hidden? This would just save us so much time if she had just trusted that Clary could be able to figure out a simple basic pattern. But alas, she wanted to make it complicated, as always, so instead we get everyone's favorite kind of episodes. Flashback, flashback, flashback! That's right everyone, it was time for some flashbacks, and I have to say I really appreciate these flashbacks because sometimes flashbacks aren't so great, aka Vampire Diaries can sometimes get a little tedious when they're heavy on flashback, but this flashback really served to further the story, even though I felt like it was super, super condensed. Like, basically they put everything that we had in like a whole 500-page book in like a 10-minute spiel by Luke. The thing I do have to say that I really, really liked about the flashbacks was I liked that they cast younger actors instead of just like doing that awkward thing everyone seems to do where they just take the same actors and like stick wigs on them and think that makes them look younger. I really like that they actually had younger characters who actually looked like the age they were supposed to be, and not like they were 30-year-olds who were dressed up as teenagers, aka Emma Swan. What? The only thing is, like, it was weird to me. They were almost too young in a sense, because like to think that like she had Clary. I think she was pregnant with Clary at the time because like there was never like really any mention of her, but like she just looks super young to not only have Clary but then also have Jonathan before. So that was like my only qualm with it, was how young they looked, but dang, they did a good casting. Like, that girl looked not only like Jocelyn, but she looked like Clary did now. So it was like you can kind of see the resemblance. And then Valentine was confusing because he was kind of hot, and I was like, no, you're crazy. Like, why are the crazy ones always the hot ones? I don't know what happened to him, if like all the demon blood drowned out his hotness, but like I never took him for someone who would have male pattern balding, but I don't know. So Luke is telling Clary all this so she gets a better understanding of where her mother is coming from, how her mother could marry someone who was so awful. Valentine wasn't really awful in the beginning, it was just like the more power he got, the more he wanted, and how once he took the demon blood, he kind of just became like there was no going back from that. I like the addition of them having it so Valentine kind of like caused Luke's werewolfism, right? That's a word. Because in the books it was more like Luke got turned and then Valentine was like, we don't associate with downworlders, you're disgusting, go kill yourself. Whereas in this one, he like just was like, okay, go let those werewolves eat you, and tricked him and basically broke the Parabatai bond, which is a huge no-no in the Shadowhunter world. So I like that because it also showed like just how freaking awful he was. I do have to say though, I loved Clary when she was like, oh, are you my dad? Like, hopefully. I'm like, honey, like, did you not take biology? Have you ever looked at a Punnett square? Like, that is in no way, shape, or form your father. That girl sometimes, her thinking process, I just don't. So the episode, like I said, was very centered on these flashbacks, and I think they did a very good job, even though they were very short, and like if you hadn't read the books, I feel like you would be like, well, that was a lot to process in 5 seconds, whereas in the book, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like what I pictured in the book. It's nice to see, but it also seems like it happened very, very quickly. Like, all of a sudden, he was like, hey, we're gonna rule the world and be awesome, and everyone's like, yeah, Valentine, and then he does the demon blood, and everyone's like, Valentine, just gonna step back here and you seen? I think it served as a good like origin story for Valentine, even though it was very condensed. I see it more as like an origin story for Jocelyn and how she like became the woman she was, and it's kind of justifying in Claire's eyes and the viewer's eyes who don't know her already that she was a good person. She just kind of made some mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, let's talk about Isabelle's mom. Woman we all want to punch directly in the face but won't because she'll probably punch us back twice as hard. Isabelle's mom, there is like stuff with her and her dad that I'm not gonna spoil because it's in the books, but once you guys find out, it's going to make a lot more sense like what her whole deal is. She's still a complete and total witch. Like, I don't like her at all. I think her and Jocelyn serve as very interesting parallels because they both had things. We've seen Jocelyn's, and we were mentioned about Isabelle's mom, how they both had kind of these young passions that led them to not so good things. And it's interesting how, like, they've taken different sides almost. How Jocelyn is a very loving mom and very supporting of Clary and very protective, and Isabelle's mom is just like, I don't know, complete opposite. Like, we just need to, like, be stone soldiers and everything like that. So it's very interesting, like, when you compare them side by side and how Isabelle and Clary have turned out. And Isabelle now is trying to emulate her mother, and I'm just like, please no. Your mother wants your brother to marry someone and thinks that's, like, a good idea. Like, I just really don't like her mom, and I don't like this whole story with Isabelle is just going to be tedious to me because it's stupid. Like, I'm sorry, your mother is a witch. You should clearly be able to realize that and be like, I never want to be like her. I don't know why she's trying to emulate her now. I also got to meet Max, which was very, very cute. I really loved him, and I'm just like, please keep your mother away from him because she will ruin him like she ruined you and Alex. Please, please keep that man away. For the time being, at least, until not gonna say it. Speaking of the other Lightwood bro, we had Alec, who was very cute in this episode. I liked his whole thing where he's kind of like, screw this, I've been trying to follow the rules, do everything everyone wants, protect people, like do everything I'm supposed to, and I still get screwed over by having to like marry someone who I have no interest in marrying. So he was basically like, had his like F y'all moment and just like left and went to Magnus's to help, and then stayed with Magnus for a drink, which is really, really cute. But I'm very proud of Alec, how he's kind of coming into his own person, and he even had that cute moment with Clary. He's like, I'm glad you did this, and he was like, oh, I didn't do it for Jason. She's like, well, then I'm glad you did it for you, and he kind of smiled, and like they were both proud of him, and I liked that moment. I thought it was really cute. Jason and Alec made up way too quickly, I have to say. I think they should have hashed some more details out. I mean, it was like a lot to process, and the fact that like this episode kind of made it seem like Alec was done with Jace, but like the previous episode was more like, no, Jace had left Alec, and Alec was like, I don't know what to do now. Like, that was weird. That's why I think they need to talk more before they're just like buddies again. Other than that, well, that was British for a second, but then other than that, episode was pretty slow action-wise. Not complaining, because I think it's good to kind of have these moments where you can just catch Clary and the viewers up to like what's going on. And her and Jace were so cute in this episode, how he was kind of trying to protect her. And then we had Simon and Jace. I was just like, can you guys please just like take out your penises and measure them to see who's bigger? Because I mean, this like dick contest is like driving me insane to see like who's more masculine, who's the better one for Clary. I'm just like, please stop, guys. We have a dying werewolf. Your gay best friend may be getting married to a woman he has no interest in. Your other friend is turning into her bitch mother. And your other little bro doesn't know the difference between nourishment and heat. Like, we have bigger fish to fry than who's better for Clary. So that was dumb. But overall, I really like this episode. It was definitely slower than the previous two, but that's okay in my mind because now we're getting more information, whereas the other episodes were more like relationship building. So I really, really like this episode. I'm interested to see now. I think it's going to be more focused on finding the cup because Clary knows where the cup is supposedly. So that whole mystery is going to wrap up pretty soon, and then we're probably going to focus on Simon and his vampirism because now he's licking blood and no one thinks that's strange. Like, okay, so I think this is about going to do it for the review. If you saw the new episode, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below and what you think will happen in the next episode, because that episode looks hella freaky. Like, we got Simon hallucinating things, Clary stabbing Jace. I don't know what's happening, but we will see. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel down below to be told to make all sorts of new videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!